Morning. Today is Tuesday, May 10th. As you can see, I got the spreader out in the field already this morning. So last night we got about a quarter of an inch of rain right here around the majority of our acres. Our spreader is actually out on a neighbor's field. That is a custom spreading job I'm hopefully going to be getting to today. Was hoping to start right away this morning. Didn't know what the fields were going to be like. Quite a bit. It's pretty tacky out there. The track's filled with mud right away. I drove it across the field just to kind of check. So, kind of changing plans a little bit. I'm in the trusty old Chevy Silverado 2500. Got the tilt bed hooked up to me, and got the skid loader back there with the rock bucket on it. So, with that rain last night, the majority of our acres got a pretty good dose of rain. Our stuff to the southeast of the main shop we were field cultivating around there yesterday, and you can actually see water in some of the tracks on the headlands this morning. So last night we went out west. We got one field that's west of the shop about 20 miles. So Sean went out there last night, checked it, reported back that it's dry and there's a really good weed flush out there. So Jerry woke up early this morning and he's actually out there field cultivating right now. And he called and said, hey, I got a couple rocks out here that he can't move. We've been notorious for finding some big rocks out there. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. That gets me out of the yard and not chomping at the bit to go spreading. That gives me something to do for a couple hours. We're supposed to get warm today. We're supposed to get like up to 82 degrees and a 10 to 15 mile an hour wind. Perfect spreading conditions, perfect weed killing conditions, and the fields around here should get dried off. So it's nice. We got equipment moving already, which is great. We got about 4 days. So it's Wednesday. There's 4 straight days of rain chance starting tonight, overnight. So we're kind of in a predicament. We have a field of non-GMO soybeans that we could get in the ground. The field is ready. Sean's there checking it right now. It was ready yesterday. It probably got some rain. And now with the forecast, we're thinking we're gonna wait. My gut feel is telling me to wait for planting until after this rain, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to plant and then get 4 or 5 days of rain, because in beans it's very critical in our operation to plant those beans, leave them sit until the bean actually swells. That means it's germinated and it's gonna start coming up through the dirt. And that's kind of that's where I like to go out there and do some sort of mechanical weeding, whether that's rotary hauling or dragging. That's when I like to go out and do some sort of pre-emerge pass. That just kind of flushes anything of weed seed that might be germinating right at the same time as that soybean, and then that gives that soybean a couple days of no germinating weeds, but it's pushing up through the ground. And then once that cotyledon's out of the ground, we can go back out there with the drag or the rotary hoe again and hit it again, and off it kind of goes. It kind of sets it up for a nice, easy, early life. That's kind of what's worked for us in the past. I really don't, like I said, I don't want to plant those beans and not be able to get in there in 3 to 4 days. So once Kevin gets up here, we're going to have a chat about planting, but for right now, that's the plan. So I'm going to quit talking. I'm going to get videos. I'm probably going to go get the drone in the air around Jerry, get some cool video of the digger going, hopefully. We'll see. I haven't done a lot of drone flying yet, so probably going to be a little shaky at that, but I want to get some drone video, some pictures, and then hopefully by the time I get that done, get some rock picked. There's another field over here that I'm hoping is dry enough. I know there's a rock out there. I'd like the field cultivator to get there today before the rain, and yeah, we'll go from there. So gonna kind of be a busy video, hopefully not so much of me talking, but more of equipment moving and hopefully spreading. And I probably will explain the spreader some. I've gotten a few requests from guys I know personally that have wanted me to show off that Artec spreader. So I will do that. I will try to do some talking. Hopefully it's not too boring. I'm probably already boring you anyway. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the video. There we go. There's Jerry working in the field cultivating, doing a great job. This field is actually going to be sunflowers. Typically we wouldn't be in here this early We would typically try to get our cornfields done, but like I explained, we had rain east of here where our main shops around, where the majority of our acres are, and we didn't get any rain out here. And the other reason he's out here, if I get to the headland, you can see we got pretty good weed flush coming. So that right there is a lamb's quarter. That's a pretty good chunk of our broadleaf weeds. Super easy to kill though. Lamb's quarters doesn't worry me at all. Those are really easy to kill with our practices. And this, like I explained in the quad track video from before, this is my favorite weed control pass. Just kind of a clean blank slate, and we're on our weed flush 1. So this is kind of typically is the strongest weed flush. You get the most weeds across the majority of your field right when the ground warms up, and that's kind of what we got here. Ground got nice and warm, really good conditions, and the weed flush is here, so we're wiping it out, just a clean slate. So being we're planting sunflowers, we will probably field cultivate this field 2 or 3, well, not even 2 times, because we're actually going to plant sunflowers after soybeans, so it'll be 3, maybe even 4. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing here, wiping it out, getting a clean slate, and making a good seed bed prep already. So next pass, we'll knock out more of these clods, smoothing it out even more, and yeah, we'll get some sunflowers planted out here at some point, probably around that June 1st, June 5th. So we're still a little less than a month away from even thinking about planting sunflowers. But yeah, already killing weeds, which is excellent. That's great. Last year in corn, we didn't really get a weed flush like this, which kind of hurt us a little bit, which is why we see some weeds out here, because a few of those weeds went to seed in our corn. You know, we did the best we could. We played the cards we were dealt, but it's just kind of what we dealt with. So we had a little bit of weeds, but nothing too bad. You're always just going to kind of see weeds in an organic field. So, but we do the best job we can to manage it, and we'll go from there. So this is what the ground looks like after the field cultivators run. You can see just a bunch of lamb's quarters just disrupted, lifted out of the soil. Like right there is that's exactly what I want to see. I want to see those white roots up in the air getting dried out. So when you get those white roots out of the ground, and they just dry up instantly, especially on a day like today where we're going to be 75, 80 degrees with a little bit of a breeze, these will dry out right away, and we're perfect. These weeds we're probably going to get 98% of these weeds that are up. Some of them will re-root, you know, if a couple of them are in a clod ball, if I could find one, like right here. So you see that? There's a good chance that weed might regrow, ironically. You can you were just kind of transplanting those, but I mean, all these that are up on top of the ground with those roots showing, they will all dry out and die. So we're getting a very good weed kill. Very happy with how our timing on this. And yeah, hopefully we have a pretty clean field this year. There we go. Got those rock picked. Got the trailer loaded back on the tilt bed. Tilt beds. Back saving trailers. There's nothing quite like them for hauling skid loaders, four-wheelers, stuff like that. And as you can see, got the Bluetooth binders holding the skid loader down. Off we go to the next field. Got one more rock yet to pick this morning, and then we'll see if we can get that spreader going. And also, yes, I am an Apple AirPod guy. Apple products are superior. If you're not using Apple, you got something wrong with you. That's just my opinion, and it's not going to be up for discussion. And I don't want to see any comments about me wearing AirPods. You're going to see it throughout the life of these videos. I'm not going to hear any criticism. Apple, greater than all else. Alright, there we go. We are spreading. So, what I am doing right now is spreading actually our personal turkey litter that we pushed out. We cleaned out a barn early this spring, and then we started hauling once road restrictions were off. We didn't start hauling. We have a company who hauls it for us, a local company. They'll actually bring a payloader up to the turkey farm and haul manure down here. So this is not our land. This is a custom spreading job. The guy who I am spreading for is a neighbor. Our shop is actually just 2 miles that way, 2 miles to the east. So not too far away from home base, which is good. That's always nice to kind of not get too far away. But yeah, we're out here spreading. I'm about 50 acres done already. I've been going now for 2.5 hours. So moving right along. I've gotten a lot of requests to see our Artex manure spreader running, and there it is. We're running. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the spread pattern all that well. I just kind of watch my mirrors. My wind is kind of blowing it that way, so, but it's dusty now, so it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, I'm spreading. So right there is the monitor I watch. That's our Raven screen. So that's run through the ISO. I can watch my scale. My scale right there, that's telling me how much weight I got left in the box. There's my acres done, my PTO spinning, how many acres I have left for this load, my target rate, and my rate. And yeah, kind of my instant acres per hour. I'm going about 9.5 miles an hour. Is working really good. We're getting a good spread pattern. Like I said, the wind's blowing a little bit, so a little bit of my dust. You know, we bed with sawdust, so it's pretty dry. You just kind of see a little bit of dust blowing, but the manure, the actual good stuff in it, is spreading out really nice. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you guys. And here's my monitor that I watch right on my armrest. So this is our GPS basically. So what's really cool with these, if you don't have a John Deere or don't know about it, you can So that's an extended monitor. So basically, I'm controlling both of these from here. I can also touch screen on this one, but I don't need to right now. Basically what I do is I throw my Artex up there once I get going for the day, and then I throw my guidance up here and make my line, and then I really don't have to mess around with a whole lot. If things are going really good and it's spreading nice and even, I really don't have to do a whole lot. I just kind of go back and forth. Sit you guys down here while I turn. I just kind of go back and forth, click my foot pedal. So now my apron is off as I'm turning, because I don't need to be spreading as I'm turning. I set my auto steer, and off we go again. I click my foot pedal again, and there we go. Yeah, so this is an Artex SBX 800 that I'm operating right now. We added those extensions that you kind of see V'ing up to the side right there. We custom made those. That's been a super nice addition to this spreader. Some of our fields are three-quarter mile long. Typically in Minnesota, we just have half-mile long fields. But now we're starting to get some longer fields. So those extensions on there have been really nice. I can get enough manure in there to make it down and back, even on those three-quarter mile long fields. So I just kind of set my width, and then the spreader kind of takes care of it from there with my gate height. So I have my gate height right now up 18 inches. So it knows with how much it's putting out the back, my width, and my gate height. It kind of just can control itself and keep it right at my set target. So yeah, once things are going good, it's really quite a simple job. You want to be able to think fast and kind of troubleshoot things if you need it. But today has gone really good. I haven't had to do much of anything from the cab, that's the days you kind of hope for. And I'm getting a lot done in 2.5 hours. I'm gonna be at 53 acres done after this load. So, and then the other thing I did, let's see if it'll focus here. Yeah, I don't know if it's picking that up quite so well, but that is my camera that I also have on the back. So right there, I wish I would pick it up better, but I don't think it is. Yeah, I have a camera mounted on the back because, as you can see from my point of view from the seat, it's pretty hard to see my spread pattern back there. So I just sit here face forward. I don't have to turn around, crane my neck all day long. And I watch my camera and I watch my scale. So that way I know, and then I can see in my rearview mirror if I'm having any sort of bridging issues. Typically don't have a lot of bridging issues, especially with our dry manure, but it happens from time to time. Especially when we get into lighter rates. So right now I'm spreading 3 1/4 ton. If we get down into 1 or 1.5 ton, sometimes, just bouncing across the field and not getting that material moved around fast enough, it'll kind of pack itself in and wedge in there. But not having that issue today. Things are going really well. So there it is. There's the setup from outside the cab. We have this spreader hooked up to our 2018 8345 RT. Love that tractor. Plenty of horsepower for this. Sometimes climbing a hill, if I'm totally full, it'll dog down a little bit, but that's okay. Now with those big extensions on, I can get about, right now, if I wanted to load full, which I don't have to because I can make it down and back and be back by the pile efficiently, so I'm not super loading it. But when I was over there were some ditches to go around, so I was getting on about 42,000 pounds, 21 ton of manure. That's a pretty good amount of manure. So those extensions have definitely paid off. When we put them on, steel was kind of pretty high, but yeah, those have been a great investment to kind of speed up the efficiency of this operation. And then, so as I click my foot pedal, it turns on the chain, the floor chain, and comes back to here. And that is what Artex Manufacturing likes to call their cyclone attachment. So there's 2 horizontal beaters in here. If you need your gate up, it'll beat it down onto the spinners and spread it out. I'm spreading about, like I said, 35 feet. That's kind of my sweet spot with turkey manure. I know some other guys have gotten more out of their spreader, but this is just where I like to have it. It's that sweet spot. We don't see the waves in the corn of not getting enough fertilizer to spread wide enough, so that's just kind of where I run it. So yeah, and there's that camera up there I was talking about. Just got it magnetized right to there and ran a cord through the tubing. That works out really well. Yeah. All right, so this is where I'm gonna end the video. I just got about 20 acres of spreading left. It's giving me about 4 or 5 loads. Nothing too crazy, so gonna get this done. I'm gonna end the video. Hopefully you can even hear me talking with the wind picking up right as I'm trying to end it. But yeah, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, share with some family members, some friends if you find our videos interesting and want to stick with us to learn more about Century Farm Organics. Thank you.